Another player that was at OT7 that's been everywhere is Carnell Tate. Everybody's heard the name. You and I have talked about him before, maybe a couple times previously. This young man's talented. I believe at IMG as well, down there in Florida, close to where you are. So it's another receiver you're able to watch and see quite a bit throughout the season. I'm getting reports and I'm reading that he's getting close. Excuse me. He's made his decision. He just has not announced it yet. What have you heard along these lines about where he might be deciding to play football?
Yeah, I talked to Carnell over the weekend, and yeah, he confirmed the same things. There's a video that is being shot, and when that video is perfect and fully edited, he'll announce his verbal commitment. Now, he did tell me he hasn't told the coaches of any program. So, hey, you won, I'm committing, or sorry, coach, appreciate the offer, I'm not coming. He has not gone to that stage just yet. So it does have optimism lingering in multiple programs at this point. But I do think of his four finalists, which he told us after the spring game, it was Ohio State, Tennessee, Notre Dame, LSU. Of the four, it's going to be Ohio State or Tennessee. Ohio State, childhood favorite school, obviously all the receiver tradition, both historically and certainly recently, that any recruit could hope for. Very tight with Brian Hartline. We saw Hartline, watching him closely at IMG spring game last month. They've been in contact seemingly every day since. They play video games together. They're very tight. It's going to be that hometown childhood love of the Scarlet and Gray, or the new school that has trended really since the new year, which is Tennessee. He's tight with Nico Iamaleava, the quarterback that's committed to Tennessee, who was also out in Vegas, by the way. He's visited Tennessee with him a couple of times. He's visited for an official visit where he has not taken in Ohio State just yet from an official visit perspective. And then he's taken an unofficial visit to Tennessee since that Tennessee official visit. So Tennessee's had him on campus most of all the programs here recently. So I would be shocked, Jay, if this comes down to any other school. No disrespect to LSU or Notre Dame and the Brian Kelly connection between the two. He's a big fan of Kelly. He admitted that was the coaching change that affected his recruitment the most. And maybe that just removed Notre Dame from the top of the list. But I do think at the end, it's going to come down to the old school childhood favorite who churns out receivers better than anyone in Ohio State, or the new SEC school that's trending up for a lot of national recruits in Tennessee, where he has become incredibly familiar, and he's tight with his future quarterback if he chooses to be a volunteer there as well. So I think it's between those two. And like he says, he's going to go public with that thing as soon as the video is ready. So we expect it in the next week to 10 days, according to Carnell himself.
Do you think that Ohio State not having a quarterback commit in this class of 2023 is going to hurt them with this recruitment of Carnell Tate? You said that he's already made his decision and that the video is being shot. But as we both know, if there's no quarterback in the class and I'm a receiver, that's going to be a big deciding factor on what school I'm going to go. Tennessee, I'm not saying that young man's last name, but they already have a quarterback in the class of 2023. The only quarterback Ohio State has right now that's committed is Dylan Raiola in the very next class. So I'm curious from your standpoint, no quarterback in this class right now. Do you think that's going to being a swaying deciding factor for Carnell Tate right now?
Yeah, I don't know if it's the final factor, but it would be naive to say it wasn't a factor. Carnell has admitted to me personally, hey, I'm looking to pair up with a quarterback. And look, Ohio State is still hunting in 2023. We've seen them offer Austin Novosad and host him over the weekend for a huge visit. We've seen them offer Brock Glenn. They've long coveted Dante Moore, who, by the way, is the quarterback that Carnell is the tightest with. He's the tightest with Dante Moore, both Midwest guys. But right now, Ohio State has minimal buzz with Dante, and them offering two other quarterbacks over the last couple of weeks, I think reemphasizes that they're probably on the outside looking in for more. So among the schools that he's looking at, technically 4 schools, right? Tennessee's the only one with a quarterback verbally committed, and he has a growing relationship with Nico, and they're talking almost on a daily basis at this point. So if you do read into that, yes, it is a big deal. And Carnell has admitted, yeah, I want to go be developed, but I also want to pair with a quarterback. But he did say on Friday when I talked to him, he said the most important factor is development. So you can read that one of two ways. Ohio State's developed better than anyone, and Tennessee's beginning to start to, under Josh Heupel, put up a lot of points on offense. They've sent 2 receivers to the league this past year. This year, they should be set up to send another 1 or 2 to the league as well. So you could kind of read into that like, I want to be next in that kind of emerging development, or I want to be next on the long line of development at Ohio State. So it's really, really close between these two programs. I know Carnell's tired of talking about it. He barely wanted to talk to me over the weekend. He's ready for this video to drop so he can get us off his back a little bit. But look, that's the nature of the game when you're arguably the number 1 receiver in the country. And for those wondering how he performed, first play of the tournament for South Florida Express, he went over the top for a long touchdown. So, yeah, Carnell is still Carnell. He maybe had the catch of the entire event later on, another toe tap like we talked about with Rodgers that looked totally incomplete. But Carnell extended that 6'2" frame to the max and hauled it in. So he's a special receiver, and there's a reason why Brian Hartline, Josh Heupel, Ryan Day, Brian Kelly, all these guys, Marcus Freeman, are all in on trying to grab him on their commitment list. But we should know here pretty soon.